Good morning. Good morning. It's the start of a beautiful day. Or start your day right with a healthy dose of news, fun, and inspiration. Join us on VOP this morning for the latest news, trending topics, and uplifting stories to set your day on the right vibe. From news and current events to lifestyle and entertainment, you are covered. Showing from 7 to 9 a.m. Monday through Friday on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice. And it's the Monday morning, Monday after elections, local council elections in Action People's Party won 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions, while the Action Alliance candidate won 1 seat. Well, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has urged the newly elected council chairman to emulate his approach to governance, to be patient and calculative. Well, that seemed to have paid off. Oh well, Chukuma.
Local government elections. Done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
Very well.
Issue of structure.
It's no longer an issue. Issue of structure is no longer an issue.
Oh,
we'll
yes.
find out in the course of the show.
All right, we will.
Okay, we also bring to you the fact that over 840 billion naira has been approved by the federal government for the rehabilitation of the 82-kilometer section 2 of the Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano-Dua carriageway. According to the statement, Minister of Works David Umahi made a disclosure at a meeting with representatives of the main contractor, Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, in Abuja. Umahi enjoined the contractor to fast-track the completion of the project in view of the premium placed on them by President Bola Tinubu. Fina?
All right, those are the major topic of discussion for today, but we'll have other trending topic that made it to the social media yesterday. And the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, has defended the bank's decision to raise the monetary policy rate to 27.25%, describing it as a necessary move to control inflation and curb excess money in circulation, even as people of Nigeria are talking about how they are facing untold hardship. And I want to ask, monetary policy rate increment 27.25%. How many percent of Nigerians are borrowing money or are willing to continue borrowing money at this time?
The fact of the MPR being raised to 2.75% and the defense by the CBN governor is one thing that beats my ordinary knowledge of economics. Because in his statement he said that he wants to use it to control inflation by mopping up cash in the society. Let me start from the issue of cash, availability of cash. Is there so much money in circulation in Nigeria?
As it stands now, no.
No. The money in circulation is in the hands of very few people, the elites. It defies the 80-20 Pareto principle. In fact, it is 95-5. 5% of the people control huge sums of money in circulation in Nigeria. What do they use them for? For luxury items. And this money in circulation circulates within that 5%. You buy 160 million naira car, how does that affect me? Because I'm not a car seller. You buy 150 million naira dollar worth of airplane or yacht. I don't sell yacht, I don't sell airplane.
Or you buy very
my wife doesn't work with Airbus, or my son or daughter don't work with Airbus. So the money is just in circulation. And when you look at this thing, I understand that the CBN governor his background is administrative and management studies. Yeah. He's not a core banker. He's not even an economic. So when these kinds of policies come to the society, you begin to wonder, because like I said, it defies my primary knowledge of economics.
It also buttresses the fact that Nigerians have been clamoring. Nigerians have been saying that, look, with the background of Olayemi Cardoso, shouldn't he get some sort of, if he must be there, shouldn't he get some sort of support from a core economist, people that can break down how the economy should work and profess solution
to some of the challenges that we are having. I think that would have been a
will
good
it be
way
an
to
issue? Because there's a bankers committee within the central bank. You know, there's an MPR committee within the central bank. And I also know that some of them might have studied economics, finance, banking, and all of that. You know, so you begin to even question whether it is Cardozo's main fault, or is it that they too are detached from what is happening to Nigerians?
Some people will bet to disagree. They will tell you that the issue of appointing a central bank governor, you know, shouldn't be what we'll be looking at this point in time, given the fact that it's more like putting a round hole in a square peg. And then one asks, what is it that Mr. Olayemi Kodoso had to bring to the table in regards to, you know, the issue of Nigeria's economy and how to manage it? Remember that, you know, during the time of the Independence Day celebration, the president said something about paying off the ways and means, you know, the 30 trillion naira accumulated by the past administration, and we're yet to know how that money was being paid, what happened, and no one is telling
that
us
money
anything
was
about
not paid. Federal government simply converted it to bonds. It wasn't paid.
Oh, well.
But he said, we have offset. We have offset.
Yes, I think what we need to do in this issue is for the central bank, you know, to find ways, for the government to find ways to redistribute income. You know, so that it will fall, it will cascade, you know, to the masses. Because looking at, you can't even curb inflation because, I mean, you need to ramp up production. We are not doing that.
All right, then. But let's touch on a few other issues that also trended. We hear that Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has declared Monday, October 7, which of course is today, a work-free day for teachers in the state. Well, that's information for you there. And when I saw that one, what came to mind is how many work-free days do we have in a year? We seem to, grab every holiday, in River State, just before the elections, there were 2 days were declared work-free days. Yeah, so, oh well. To another conversation.
No, he's not the only person. He's not the only governor who did who declared a work-free day.
Okay.
Even that Adeleke also said today, being Monday, teachers to stay home for them to be celebrated. It's Teachers' Day celebration.
It's Teachers' Day. It's a good one that you have given them an extra day of rest. You know, you are celebrating them. But if you ask me, it wasn't a total package. You know, it should be if it had come with like loan advances for cars for teachers. You know, mortgage for teachers so that they could pay up over time. You know, that would be a better way to celebrate teachers.
A better welfare creation for them, so that at least their work, the work that they do in the society also will be rewarded.
Here on earth. You know, so it wasn't a total package. I like to see, because my father bought a car as a teacher, a brand new one for that matter.
How many years ago?
That was a long time ago. But let's get into another
So why can't we recreate that? We should be able to recreate that.
Some states, like I said some days back, Lagos State has that package where teachers are compensated. You know, there is the competition that is done amongst teachers within the state, and winners are compensated.
That is a competition. No,
it's
flow.
But you have to. I hate to say you have to earn it. It's not just about being a teacher. You have to have an edge over the rest.
Moses, you are here speaking this English because of a teacher.
A teacher, exactly. You know, we did this debate while we were much longer,
between a teacher and a doctor.
God bless you for saying that. And we're able to make it known to them that without a teacher, they won't even be a doctor.
A doctor.
Of course,
but anyway,
yes, of course.
The Nigerian government has expressed concern over the lack of willingness among many Nigerians in Lebanon to return home, despite the escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. According to a statement issued by Ambassador H.A. Abu Obe, spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, only about 500 Nigerians have registered for evacuation, though over 2,000 are currently residing in Lebanon. And this is not the first time Nigerians are refusing to come home. I could remember what happened in Ukraine during the time of the evacuation also, when there was the intense, issue between the Ukrainian government and Russian government. Nigerians are there. Some of them refused coming home. They were like, no, it's better for us to be here.
It speaks to how Nigerians feel about residing in Nigeria, or because when they leave the shores of this country, even when there is chaos, crisis going on where they are, they just tend to refuse to come back because I also recall, I mean, you just talked about Ukraine. Before some Nigerians were able to be brought back from Ukraine, it took a lot of social media outcry. A lot of them did not even want to. They were willing to cross over to other places as well. And then a lot had to happen before some were brought back. Air Peace, I think Air Peace played a role in that. But if you talk about Sudan, there was crisis in Sudan last year, and in Sudan we had more students. Over 2,000 of the people, over 2,000 and 2,500 and thereabout were students. Arrangement was made by JAM and certain institutions, the University of Ilorin and a few others, to accommodate them. But these students refused to come back. Those that managed to come back wanted to go back after a while. Now look, okay, let's just go elsewhere. Let's go elsewhere.
Moses, let me ask you this question. Moses, will you rather move from frying pan to fire or from fire to frying pan?
But there's no war in Nigeria.
The issue is this: it's a matter of choice. People who choose to stay abroad, as far as I'm concerned, it's a matter of choice.
We're talking about a war-torn zone now.
Yes.
We're talking about a war-torn zone.
It's still a matter of choice that people prefer to stay in a war-torn zone than living in Nigeria,
where there's relative peace.
Where there's relative peace, where you can even, in our local language, you hustle. Yes. Your daily hustle, to make life worth living. It's a matter of choice, if you ask me. So, for those who are willing to come back, we welcome you back home. For those who want to stay, we wish you good luck. This thing happened in Sierra Leone. Before Sierra Leone unraveled, the Ministry of External Affairs had made arrangements, to bring back Nigerians, and a lot of them were not willing. So they had about 500 or about 1,000 of them or so, at the airport. But the day Freetown broke down, you had more than 20,000 Nigerians at the airport, all of them wanting to come back home. And the ministry couldn't handle it. It became a humanitarian crisis for Nigerians again. So, like I said, it's a matter of choice. If you want to come home, you're welcome home. We die here, as you say.
Well, okay. So I will say, anyway, let's move away from that conversation. Because a lot of Nigerians have, over time, decided to, if they get the opportunity to leave, they just drop their passport. Like, look, I don't want to associate.
I want to be a refugee in another place.
Unfortunately. Oh, well, let's get into the papers now. Let's take a very quick break, and then we'll get into newspaper headlines for today.
All right, welcome back. It's still VOP this morning, and it's time for us to look at the front pages of the national dailies. We have a whole lot before our table this morning. The Guardian newspaper this day, The Punch, the New Telegraph, The Matrix, the Daily News Hub, Vanguard, the Daily Trust, and a whole lot more. I would like to start off this morning from the Daily Trust newspaper, which has its banner headline to be, How Multi-Billion Naira Illicit Arms Entered Nigeria 23 times in 7 years. I'll take that again. How multi-billion naira illicit arms entered Nigeria 23 times in 7 years. Riders to that bold headline. Trend portends grave danger, expert. Investigation ongoing, customs. NSA's office take custody of seized ammunition. And away from that, we have other headlines to be higher interest rate painful for borrowers, but necessary to control inflation, and that is according to CBN. Gunmen abduct school principal, 8 others in Kaduna. That story is on page 12 of the Daily Trust. Abuja Kaduna Kanu Highway, FG threatens to revoke beggars' contract over price dispute. And we have another headline, a bold one again, War on Gaza, 1 year of killings, hunger, displacement. That story is on page 7 of the Daily Trust newspaper, and that is all we have that made it to the cover page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning.
All right, then. Well, let's get into another paper now. Away from the Daily Trust, let's touch on the Guardian newspaper. The bold headline here on the Guardian speaks to concerns over Naira's fair value after CBN's $2 billion lifeline. NNPCL withholds $11.3 billion, remits only $2.3 billion to Federation amid PIA flaws. I take that one again for emphasis and for it to sink in. NNPCL withholds $11.3 billion, remits only $2.3 billion to Federation amid PIA flaws. All right, let's move on to other headlines here. Fubara swears in chairman, APC upsets Benue, PDP shines in Akwa Ibom. All right, Nigeria's cargo clearance cost 179% above neighbors, says reports. Stop bringing ill-gotten money as offerings, Morka warns. All right. And I wonder why that made it to the cover page of the paper. But anyway, that will be all from the Guardian newspaper this morning.
And up next is the Punch newspaper with the banner headline, Rivers Crisis, Wike Camp heads for court as Fubara swears in LG chairman. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. With the rider, APC, PDP factions vow legal battle as Governor Atiku, others cancel LG chiefs on residents' welfare. And just above the banner, the masthead, you have Naira for crude, 3 refineries plan PMS production. Dangote awaits NNPC supply. There's a pictorial there of the secretary to the government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, handing over a plaque to the governor of Kano State, Abba Yusuf, for coming out as the best performing governor on education. And beside that, you have tariff hike. Discourse revenue jumps to 887 billion naira. That story is on page 36 of the Punch newspaper. 2027, LP welcomes Kwakwanso's offer to be Obi's running mate. I'll take that again. 2027, LP welcomes Kwakwanso's offer to be Obi's running mate. That story is on page 8. And the downstream headlines read, Abba Moro tackles Alia as APC sweeps Benue local government seats. I trafficked drug to pay my MSc fees, Canadian suspect. And finally, 50 CNG stations servicing 200 million Nigerians. That's according to the NMDPRA.
And on the front page of the First News this morning, we have the banner headline to be Swift Action. Fubara installs Rivers LG chairman 24 hours after poll amid political tensions. Urged them to be calculative, follow his leadership blueprint. And the window headlines just beneath the masthead, police to join employees' compensation scheme, IGP Betokun. Frost News Fourth Public Lecture sparks urgent call for leadership reform and post-oil future in Niger Delta. Rivers people have rejected Godfatherism. Atiku takes aim at Wike amid LG polls. Cardoso's FX matching system signals CBN's commitment to fair market practice. Amokachi makes stunning return to NPFL as Lobby Stars' new head coach. I'll take that again. Amokachi makes stunning return to NPFL as Lobby Stars' new head coach. And we have other headlines that made it to the cover page of the First News to be Sarab urged Tinubu cut off funds to states failing to hold credible LG polls. And the last but not the least of the headlines that made it to the cover page of the First News this morning reads, Nigeria evacuates citizens from Lebanon as conflict escalates. And, okay, we have another, just not that tiny, but it's a quite interesting one from Jessica, the concluded BBN. That's a Big Brother Niger season 9, if you lose God house, where we have Kelly Ray, imagine the winner of the Big Brother Niger season 9. And those are headlines. I'm going to cover page.
All right, congratulations to the contestants that show. I'm sure Chisom would have more details for us in that regard. Well, let's look at the daily news hub right now. Fresh crisis brews in Rivers as new LG chairman resume today. WK Group allegedly hires youths to stop them from accessing secretariats. Allegedly pays 20 youths per ward 15,000 naira to carry out plan. That's small. That's a funds to pay core members new allowance not yet released. NYSC DG. All right, this is coming on the heels of core members complaining that they have not received the 77,000 naira, increment. It's still 30. Is it 33 or 30?
33.
33. Okay, wheeled 650,000 pounds inheritance tears MKO Abiola's family apart as younger sibling takes on late business mogul's eldest son. Kola says, I don't think I'll forgive him. All right. And then we have other headlines here. Let's see. We have Israel-Hezbollah conflict. Most Nigerians in Lebanon reluctant to return home. FG. Tinubu didn't make himself president of Nigeria. We did, says Oshoba. Withhold allocation to states not conducting credible LG polls. Serap urges Tinubu. Rivers LG poll end to political intimidation, says Atiku. Hails Fubara. Kelly Ray wins BB Niger season 9. Teenager stabs father to death in Kogi, Ogene. Drug trafficking. I was promised $10,000, says Canadian lady arrested by NDLEA at Lagos Airport. Troops destroy 15 illegal refineries, recover 115,000 liters of stolen crude. Osimhen wins first Turkish Super League award. All right. And bottom strip there. Why we sold $543.6 million to Nigerian banks, CBN. All right. So these are the headlines on Daily News Hub this morning.
Okay, finally, let's take the Vanguard newspaper before we wrap it up. LG polls, PDP has lost Rivers, BOT chair, Fubara laments. That story is on page 5 with the riders. Says party rocked its own boat, ignored warnings. We've uncovered plans to unleash violence on LG headquarters, according to Fubara. Twice in 23 council chairmen, councillors, says I'm still in PDP. Article hails Rivers people. Fubara for rejecting intimidation. Minima hails Rivers governor over successful LG poll. APP dedicates victory to Rivers people. Stop using president's power, CTC chairman warns. Commends Fubara for peaceful polls. And Vanguard's Priska Sam Duru wins NLNG prize. There's also a pictorial of the SGF handing over the plaque to Governor of Kano State, Yusuf, for being the best performing governor in the education. And that's all from the Vanguard newspaper.
That's how far we can go, looking at the cover page of the National Dailies on the show. But don't worry, just do well to join Moses and Chukuma as they do the newspaper analysis proper at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And we'll take a quick break. Before we do that, we want to let you know that when we come back, we'll be looking at the outcome of Rivers LG poll as Fubara swears in 23 new local government chairmen. Do stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's still VOP this morning on Voice of the People television. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has sworn in the 23 newly elected local government chairmen following their receipt of certificate of return from the River State Independent Electoral Commission. The swearing-in held on Sunday at the Government House in Port Harcourt after a tense election on Saturday. The Action's People's Party secured 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions, while the Action Alliance took one. Fubara urged the chairman to follow his example in governance and warned them of potential violence as they take office on Monday. He encouraged them to view their roles as opportunities to serve the grassroots. Also, former Chief of Army Staff General Kenneth Minima, retired, praised Fubara for the smooth conduct of the election, while Atiku Abubakar celebrated the result as a sign of the end to political intimidation. Meanwhile, an observer group which monitored the election in River State, the People's Advocate, TPA, has said that the exercise was not credible due to a number of irregularities. Serap has also urged President Tinubu to withhold federal allocations from states that haven't conducted credible local government elections, emphasizing that only democratically elected councils should receive their funds. And I will have a video to, when Fubara was also given the certificate or inaugurating this 23.
Sorry, David. Well, let's take that video as Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State swore in the 23 newly elected local government chairmen.
That they are mobilizing 20 people per unit to go and confront you tomorrow when you resume in your local government headquarters. But please, if they are coming with violence, avoid them. The peace of this state is too important to us. It is on public notice. Everybody knows what they're planning. But please, I want to beg every one of you.
All right, that's the voice of the governor of River State, Siminalayi Fubara, during the swearing-in ceremony of the 23 local government area. We have with us in the studio to help make sense of this, Mr. Akin Fatinke, a communication consultant. And joining us virtually is Barrister Henry Ekine, a human rights lawyer. Good morning, Mr. Akin.
Yeah, good morning, Fina. Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Mr. Kuro.
Good to have
It's
you.
a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Good morning, Barrister Henry.
All right, so we hear that Barrister Henry Kine is yet to join in. But let's start with
Mr. Akin.
Mr.
Mr. Akin,
Fatinke.
what is your take, or what is your take or your stand on the River State LG poll, given the fact that a whole lot happened during last week, from the RACEC office that was being invaded by the police, and the words of the governor saying that even if it takes a bullet wound, that the local government election must hold.
Not only that, he's not prepared to give his kidney out.
A whole lot.
I like to say democracy is working. And I think I like to clap for Rivers people. Congratulations. What and all. I'm not sure there has been elections that you can say is 100% free and fair in Nigeria. My position has always been that democracy, and the process for democracy has always been tuned, okay, with a lot of landmines. But for me, Governor Siminalayi Fubara, swearing on Sunday, holiday. What better symbolism do you therefore expect? And so, besides, the opposition are very, very happy. So democracy is working. RAISEC is working. The courts are now sacrosanct. There won't be any, at least from the opposition, albeit I'm not sure what the main parties will come up with. And for the very first time in the history of Nigeria, well, okay, at least to my own knowledge, the main political parties don't even have what back in those days one. So for me, let's just see how that pans out. I know that observers are also, as usual, making their call, but Governor Fubara is happy, PDP is happy, the Obedience, I'm sure, are happy, and I'm sure that...
Yeah, the Obedience, they have any seat in this election, because Labour Party basically...
No, it does not matter. Okay. I'm making a general statement. Obedience are happy, and I'm sure Atiku is also happy.
Obviously, Atiku is happy.
So what does that leave PDP, given the fact that they boycotted? They didn't participate in that election that happened on Saturday. Remember that Fubara was being elected on that platform of People's Democratic Party. And what do you make of Atiku Abubakar's statement, congratulating Fubara, even when PDP did not participate in that election?
I just told you, democracy is now becoming very, very interesting. It doesn't matter if Atiku and his party participated in that election. He's happy with the outcome of the election. It tells you about the coloration. Why will I, you, or anybody for that matter, now begin to carry somebody's headache? He's happy and is congratulated. The PDP flew all the way from Bauchi to say that democracy is beginning to work in Nigeria. So as far as I'm concerned, PDP is hitting the dust. Is that not how to? I know you didn't mention APC, and APC too is like hitting the dust, at least for now.
Yeah, Mr. Fatuke, I think everybody understands what happened in Rivers State, with the conduct of the elections. Generally, it was free and fair, from everything we gathered. There was no violence. There was no ballot box snatching.
Relatively
free and fair. No violence, no stuffing of ballot box.
You make it relative, he says absolute.
No snatching of ballot box. Mr. Fatuke, you understand what I'm saying?
I understand you perfectly.
This is the first time also that the police stayed out of elections.
So?
And it went free and fair.
I think the implication of that is that do we really need Nigerian police?
That is the question I want to ask you. Going forward,
okay. Do we need the police?
Forward, should we leave the police out of elections?
Okay, well...
Looking at what happened in Edo State, where we have 35,000 policemen deployed,
and it was marked with violence.
If you ask me, it would be foolhardy for me to say I leave the police out of anything, whether elections or no elections. But if the people say that is exactly what they want, who am I? As far as I'm concerned, so Rivers State conducted a free, fair elections, swayed to a new party, again, perhaps for the very first time, tells you about strong men and not necessarily strong institutions. And the people are happy, and that is democracy, in my own view. So, should police be made to be part of elections and all that? In Rivers States, no. In other states, I am not sure that that is going to hold sway. I don't think it's going to hold sway. But if that is the people, that is what the people say, please, police, stay out of elections, so be it.
Sorry, Mr. Aki, it's not about what the people say. The conduct of elections, one of the constitutional responsibilities of the police is not to be part of conduct of elections.
Yes.
Their duty is to maintain law and order.
Exactly.
Then we also realize that in almost all the elections, at least in this Fourth Republic, that all the elections that police and the military, the DSS have been involved, you have cases of violence, cases of ballot snatching, cases of and the police itself becoming clearly partisan.
Can I ask you a question?
So, considering what has happened...
In those elections that you mentioned, that police have been partisan, have policemen been killed? No, they've not been killed.
No,
And
no.
so-
In Edo State, policemen. In Kogi State, policemen were killed during elections.
Okay, so
You know,
police.
so, Mr. Aki, my question is this.
We are saying the
My
same
question
thing.
is this: should we, as a matter of policy, leave out the police, since we now understand that anytime they are in
Elections
elections
can be held
without them, and that when they get involved, there is violence.
And I answered you. The voice
No,
of
you were
the
neither
people.
here nor there. I want us to be more
I
specific.
am. Oh, okay.
It's not about the people, you know.
No. Democracy is about the people, unless you are trying to redefine it. If people say they do not want police, why are you asking me?
Well, the
if
people
It was
have not
not the
been
people.
asked.
It
I mean,
was the court that said police
actually
don't
not
go.
go.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
police
It was
did
the
say
court that
yes,
said
they
it
would
has
not- they
nothing
would
to
not
do
be
with the
there
people.
to
Please,
provide
let's get
security.
something straight. I mean, this is simple, linear logic. The court said police don't be involved. The police were not involved. And the people were happy with the outcome of the election. So what exactly are you then therefore saying? If the people, at the end of the day, just felt that things went wrong, and they would say, oh, police should have been part of it. The court, should not have said that. As far as I'm concerned, I've always been a process person. Democracy is the will of the majority. There was an election in Rivers State. Even though some other persons might look at it and say, hey, wait, INEC said they didn't release INEC
Voter
register.
register.
Okay. And all. That notwithstanding, the election went, in your words,
Freely, fairly.
free,
And
fair,
and
and the
credible.
people are happy.
No, but
Are
you
the
also
people
said
really
the elections
happy?
were free and fair. Now, I know you
No,
are not.
I didn't. Well, I think the elections, from my own observations, was free.
Okay.
I will be able to say that it was fair. Okay?
Okay,
Because
but it
there
was
are always
freely-
two.
freely
It was,
conducted.
there was no bullet.
But you- okay.
No policeman
Let
was
me-
killed.
okay.
And no ballot snatching.
Well-
and 23 out of 22 went to a new party that came on board. So what are we talking
Interesting
about?
developments indeed.
Recent developments. Why should anybody not be happy? I'm happy for the Rivers people.
All right, so you made a statement. You said democracy is working, and it's good to hear that. I mean, it's good to
Democracy
hear.
is working.
That's what you said.
No. I said from the onset, play back my last rule, I said democracy is not working for Nigeria. But it works. Okay?
I thought I heard you say democracy.
Beginning
is
to
That
work.
was what I heard.
No, I didn't say that. Okay, so even if I said that, maybe that was a slip. And I take that back.
Okay.
Can I therefore say democracy is working when you are happy? Democracy is working for you when things move your way.
So in this
democracy is not
regard-
going. Excuse me, please let me land. Democracy is not going to work when things are not working out for you. And it's the reason why I said if you look at the brand of democracy we are practicing in this part of the world, it's neither here
Neither here nor there.
or there.
Shouldn't we be happy that it is working? Because according to you, democracy is all about the people, and the people are happy. People of Rivers State are happy.
I've just
You
told
said that.
I've just told you I'm happy for Rivers people.
But are the people of Rivers State really happy, given the fact that some people come up to protest saying that elections should not hold? And they also pointed out the voter register saying it's not been upgraded. Some people were being disenfranchised from going out to cast their vote during that election. Are the people of Rivers State really happy?
That
Mr. Aki?
notwithstanding, the majority is democracy, are happy, no bullets, nobody was killed, and all that. And the feedback I got from the whole Epole is that, and part of the happiness, which I know you know very well, is the fact that to hell with Godfather politics. Wike is gone.
So you think this will put an end to godfatherism in our Nigerian politics?
Well, again,
in that state.
thank you very much, in that state. So let's see how it goes. So
But let's look at
father go, father come. So I hope Fubara will not now be another,
Well, I absolutely understand that you don't have a dog in the fight here.
Oh,
but,
absolutely
So it's
not.
just your thoughts now.
Yeah.
From the conduct of the elections and everything that panned out, with the explosions that also took place in certain parts of the state during the collation of the results of the elections, and some independent observers coming out to say that, look, this election was not credible, like they have said in other elections around other parts of the country.
Yeah.
He also did say at the beginning that there is no election in Nigeria that is actually free and fair.
Sacrosanct
Okay.
and fair.
Haven't said that.
Yeah.
What's the way forward? Because should we make do with elections because, you know, a party that we perceive as not being the will of the people is being, you know, pushed out? Or should we look for a way to ensure that elections are actually conducted freely and fairly?
Yeah, we can strive for the utopia, no doubt about that. And this is not just a Nigerian thing per se. Everywhere you turn to, there will always be, even though we don't have it as acrimonious as what we have here in Nigeria. There is a process. The people have to speak through their votes. The people even want to have independent candidates. People want to have independent, but
that conversation is now.
But we are being structured. So since we have to go through that law and process, you know, just like you have just asserted, explosions or no explosions, you know, monitors are happy. Some people, like you say, are not happy. If you are not happy, go to court. Right. There's a process there. Go there and go and vent it out in the court.
That statement brings
a quick one now, Mr.
Oh, okay.
Looking at all the LG elections that have, you know, happened during before now, you know,
in other states.
Anambra State, for example, they have 21 local governments being declared by ABGA.
Yes.
In Imo State, APC did the same. In Enugu State, PDP, all through. You know, we have so many other states have conducted their election, and it's neither that the ruling party take over the whole seats or nothing. And now to River State, where we have APP clearing 22 states, 22 local government council. Are we seeing another emergence of a structureless party seeing the limelight at the big political structure or big political space?
You call it structureless. I'll call it the Nigerian brand of democracy. It is not happening for the first time.
So we're seeing another replica of LP now coming.
It is a trend which has made me to come to a conclusion that democracy is not it the way we expect democracy to be it, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, please don't forget Benue State, gone to APC. When Oton was there, it was PDP. And now Fubara is there, it is now, you know, a new formulated party. What this tells me clearly is that the parties are there, there will be mushrooms, there will be vehicles that powerful people can take, go in, grab power, and then, of course, come back.
All right, so now...
come back to your base, which basically, in my own opinion, and what has happened in Rivers State is eventually you see them come back to base to PDP, you know.
All right, so we have, I was going to pose this question to Barrister Henry Kine, who, of course, is resident in Port Harcourt, but I do understand that we've lost connection with him. He's to join us virtually from Port Harcourt. But, well, let me pose this question to you then.
Yes,
when he comes, I'll get his opinion.
Then we'll have his own version
on it as well. As it stands right now, who is the loser and who's the winner in all of this, by your assertion? Because we have a state now where the governor is PDP, all right? They have a few members in the House of Assembly. Victor Okojumbo led State House of Assembly. A few members there. We still have the Martins Amewule still, you know, struggling to hold sway in their own House of Assembly. We have the position of the courts in all of this. And now we have the local governments where elections are actually conducted. All right, sorry, please. Now we have, you know, the local governments where elections are actually conducted, going to another party, albeit supporters of the governor. Who's the loser? Who's the winner, really? Is PDP, is the governor the winner here? Or is APP the winner here?
Is that for me? Are you saying you have not seen? The governor said he's the loser. Whatever that
he said he's the loser.
Oh, yes.
But he has also said that he's calculative and patient.
Politics is who gets what, where, and when. The vehicle that you use, that notwithstanding.
Okay.
You have the people behind
All right.
you.
Okay.
Don't forget something that Voltaire, the French philosopher, said. He looked at people who are hailing him, and he said, these same people who are hailing me will be the same people that will say, please hang him. These same people
Of course, yes.
did not like
Of
Fubara
course,
when
yes.
he came and the way he
Well,
came and all that. But today he's now the champion of
So
democracy.
do you think
Okay,
Fubara will
let's
soon
let's
switch
let's
or
go
move or
to
press carpet?
Henry Akine now.
Okay, Henry.
We have Barrister Henry Akine joining us now. Barrister, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. Good to have you. What's the situation in Rivers State? What's the atmosphere in Rivers State? Because we know that the local council chairmen have been sworn in, and there are also insinuations that a few individuals have been paid 15,000 naira, 20 per local government to go and cause mayhem there. But what's the situation this morning?
River State is bright, and River State has been bright since Saturday. And then River State has been lively. The people are happy. Democracy won. The people won. Elections held in River State across the 23 local government areas and the 319 wards on Saturday, the 5th of October 2024. And then the results declared by the River State Independent Electoral Commission, the chief election officer, and the results were further declared yesterday. That concluded the result for HA local government area and then the 319 ward areas. Again, yesterday you reported, and that's correct, that the governor has inaugurated the 23 local government chairmen. I expect that by this morning they will be resuming duties in their respective local government areas. So River State has been lively, activities are on, businessmen and women are going about their businesses, the workplaces have resumed today, and I think everybody is happy. And I must say that the people of River State expected that election, prepared for that election for the 3 months that the notice was given and the
Okay,
election
but you haven't
was
responded
conducted.
to my question, actually. My question is we hear that certain individuals might be causing problem for the local
I was
council
actually going to
chairman.
get there.
Pardon?
Yes, I was actually going to get there. I think we have to emphasize the positives in our narratives in this country. Before we probably will talk about criminal elements and deviance in society for antisocial behaviors. So the positives are the areas I've actually emphasized, and that's what's our concern here in River State. That's what we have to celebrate. But we'll condemn anybody who is
Oh, well, we're having network glitches right now. I do hope that we'll be able to re-establish contact with Barrister Henry Ikine. He's based in Rivers State, and obviously he has been monitoring the activities. He was here was it Thursday? He was here on Thursday when we talked about the possibility of the elections holding in River State. And we can see that, yes, it held, and the people came out, in as much as a few others.
You could see that
came out to protest. He's
Barrister
more
Henry
relaxed.
was grinning from ear to ear. He's absolutely happy. I want to ask him a question when he comes back.
Are you
I'll
to
still
say
ask
that
him.
he's a player?
But meanwhile, let me ask Mr. Fatuke. Mr. Fatuke, what do you make out of the rush in issuing certificates of returns immediately after the election and swearing in of the 23 LG chairmen on a Sunday? Was it to preempt anything or what? Can you help Nigerians make sense of what happened?
Oh, well, it's difficult for me to read what is in men or women's mind, their fears, their aspirations. It's not unlikely. It's not unlikely, commonsensically, the way you have put it. That look, before we can say they are going to snatch it away from me and somebody will go to court and all that kind of thing, let me quickly do what I need to do. I think River State is predominantly a Christian state, and I think it's good that the chamber is open on Sunday, and then you quickly do what you have to do. But beyond this, and on a much more serious note, if not for the way and the brand of democracy we practice. Barrister Kine made a statement there which supports what I have said, that the Rivers people are happy, okay, and people are going, with their normal business.
All right, sorry,
It
please,
therefore
if you
means
don't
that
mind.
the people's mandate, the people's voice is very key and important, and is sending a clear signal that when people take a decision that this is how they want to go, most likely, yes, we'll have itches.
Well,
Most likely
the
that
big
they'll have their
question
way.
is, do the people know their power when it comes to electing officers? Because we still hear people say, oh, well, they know who will be there already. I still heard that yesterday. Well, let's come back with re-established contact with Barrister Henry Ikine. Barrister, now, there was something we talked about here this morning about the role of the police in elections, because we see that in Rivers State, where the courts gave the police an order not to provide security, the police stayed away, and the elections were largely free from violence. And in fact, those that were accused of wanting to jump into INEC office to cut away materials were policemen.
Rake office.
Rec office, I beg your pardon. Thank you very much. What is the role of the police now? Like my colleague asked earlier, should the police be kept out of election, stay at bay on election day, or should they continue to provide security? Do we need security when we go out to vote, really?
Sorry. Thank you. I really apologize for the fluctuation here. But I was just going to say that we wouldn't emphasize on negative behaviors, just to conclude that part of my thoughts. I'll come back to this. And then whoever is planning any disruption of resumption of duties and office by the elected council members, I think we'll face the security agencies. That's what should happen. In a decent society, of course, as ours, the laws are there, the extant criminal laws are there. If any person conducts himself in any way that infringes any of our criminal laws, he should be arrested and investigated and prosecuted. So I leave that for the security agencies. Yes, there may be rumors to that effect, but that cannot displace the laws. I haven't said that.
I saw you. You are very happy. You look very happy. Probably as a result of the conduct of the elections in Rivers State. But my question is this: why the rush in issuing certificates of return to the elected chairman and the swearing in on a Sunday? What happened? Is there any? Can you help us make sense of the reason for the rush by the governor? Hello?
We lost connection with Barrister Henry again. It's unfortunate. The network has been acting up this morning. Barrister Henry Kine, we'd like you to respond to that question when you come back. But we'll take a quick break. Let's take a quick break and rectify a few things, and we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We do apologize for that break there, but we had to. We are now being joined by Barrister Darlington Agumo, VOP in-house analyst. Barrister Darlington, good morning to you.
Morning, Moses. And how was your weekend?
Very well, thank you. So we're talking about elections in Rivers State and the outcome of it. Now, let me move away from Rivers State a bit. Let's look at, because elections, local government elections were also held in some other parts of Nigeria. Akwa Ibom was one of them. In Akwa Ibom, where elections were held, of course, the PDP swept, most of the local government areas, but there was an interesting occurrence where I've forgotten the name of the local government now, the one that belongs to where the Senate, where the president of the Senate is from. The returning officer announced the name of the APC, I beg your pardon, the PDP candidate as the winner with over 55,000 votes. But then when the list came out, yes, he announced the name of the APC candidate with 55,000, PDP candidate with 55,000 votes, while the APC candidate got about 600 and something votes. But when the list came out, the name of the APC candidate was now there as the winner of the elections. And we are hearing that, the governor saved the Senate, the president of the Senate, from embarrassment. Because if he had lost his local government, that would have been embarrassing. Isn't this embarrassing for democracy?
That's SCN Udim local government.
SCN Udim, thank you very much. Isn't this embarrassing, Barrister? 55,000 votes, and then 600 now being declared winner?
What happened in this local government election is just allocation of votes. It was not a voting per se. It was just allocation of votes. They look at you and said, okay, you are holding a high office, or you take this one. You avoid embarrassment, take this one. That was what happened. If not, ask yourself, how come every state that is governed by a particular political party, they swept all the local government? You mean even in that locality, there is no person of another party who is so prominent to win that local government?
So where does this leave the local government autonomy?
That is where I'm coming. That's where I'm coming, my dear. Initially, when this thing was mooted by Tinubu, I told everybody here that this thing will not work. I told you that this thing will not work as long as they are trying to reinvent federation or federal federalism, so to say. This thing will not work because it has never worked anywhere. I said it here. This so-called autonomy, you can see the outcome. Is there any autonomy now? The answer is no. Rather, it has created more problems that it wants to solve.
But in River State, Barrister Darlington, it wasn't a ruling party that, we know that particular state. We have APP taking over 22
you can just
out of
imagine,
23 states.
You can just imagine a party that is in, the governor is from another party. Then he now mobilizes men to go and invade another party.
Are you saying he mobilizes men even when Atiku Abubakar also applauded the election that happened in River State, even when PDP boycotted that election?
said, leave that. You saw what happened. All those people that entered APP, are they from PDP?
Are you saying there will be a reason for cross-carpeting? Are you saying that Fubara is going to work APP?
It's already done. Look, the end have not been heard of this River State matter because of the way it went. The end have not been heard because those people now, I don't see APP accommodating those people. They are going to make their own trouble in future. Whether you like it or not, they will make their own trouble. Because you just use their party to gain access to local government chairmen. What makes you think they will not ask for something? No, tell me, what makes you think that they will not ask for something in future? So that is why we are here. But it's unfortunate because I was saying that these people should have called experts. After all, this local government election have not been held in success for 89 years. Why are you in a rush? Why are you in a rush?
Barrister Darlington, don't you think the people are already tired of the whole issues between Wike and Fubara happened in River State, and that was the reason they could come up to say, no, we want to conduct this election,
No.
even when the police,
It's not
did not participate.
It's not about Wike and Fubara in River State. It's about the whole federation. Look at how all the elections went. How come the governor of a state, his party will clear all the local governments? Then what have you done? There is no choice here now. People did not choose anybody now. The Okocha told you how they used to write results in the chief of staff office in the government house. Is that not what is happening now? So we have not gotten it right. There will be more problem concerning this local government autonomy. There will be more problem. Quote me.
Barrister Darlington, let's look at the legal works that greeted the lead up to the conduct of local government elections. We had one from River State and we had one from an Abuja High Court.
Federal High Court.
And now that the election has been conducted, is there a possibility, because I heard a lawyer say yesterday that the election shouldn't have been held considering the ex parte injunction given by the Abuja High Court. So is there a possibility, is a lawyer that said, is there a possibility that if any of the parties goes to court, that this election, that election that was conducted on Saturday, will be overturned by the courts?
It's not possible because the Supreme Court already ruled. You know, if the intervention of the Supreme Court is not in the picture, it would have been a different ballgame. But the Supreme Court have said that you must conduct a local government election before a party. It's time bound. Have you forgotten? It's time bound.
So
the question is this. The question is this. The Abuja High Court said, INEC, don't release voters' register to RISEC for the conduct of this election. Now, the question will be, which voter register did RISEC use in the conduct of the election?
There was another one that has been, that of 2023. It's still existing now. It's still what do you call it, in use. It's still valid.
But INEC didn't validate it.
Some have argued that certain people will be disenfranchised, those that clocked 18 and above, right after the 2023 elections.
They should wait for the next election. Are you saying we should stop the election because of these people? Even as we are talking now, somebody has been born. Even as we are talking now, somebody has crossed 18 years.
Now, Barrister, are you not saying that it is
the issue wasn't the issue of disenfranchising. The issue is that INEC in Abuja says we did not release any voter register for the conduct of that election as stipulated by the Electoral Act as amended 2022.
They have an existing electoral register. They had an existing one. And that is the only one they, as every other state, are using. The one in Abuja,
right, so can we say that these elections now conducted so far were credible enough?
They are not credible.
Mr. King?
None of them is credible. None of them is credible. None of them.
What I said still stands. And he has,
remind us, please.
He has agreed that if you are not happy,
all right.
No, wait. If you are not happy, go to court. So,
okay.
And I did say that people in River State are happy. I'm happy for them.
Okay.
Was it conducted? Yes, it was conducted. Was it fairly? I said no. I mean,
okay. Now let me ask.
And it's left for the courts to make a decision.
With things we have seen,
yes,
and your conclusion,
yes,
that these elections were not credible enough.
Democracy is not credible in Nigeria.
Now, certain organizations like CESERA have also come out to say that, look, don't give allocation to states that did not have credible elections.
Okay,
so where do you think that puts us as we speak about local government?
So where will you draw the line? If the people say that is exactly what they want, Barrister Darlington has told you as an analyst.
We're not talking about River State alone. We're talking about
around
the nation.
Yes. Oh, if you are talking about...
Yes, that's what I said, around the nation.
I disagree.
Credibility is a relative term.
I disagree that the local government autonomy is a failure on account of what we have seen in some of the states. Reason is simple. Before now, ever since we've been conducting elections in Nigeria, the governors of the state will take the whole state. We all know that.
But that's what happens. That's what has That's what we've seen.
So I am not saying it's not because we are having local government autonomy. There are still pros and cons. Of course, the way I look at it is that there will be states, there might be states, I don't know, in this country, where, take it or leave it, there will still be semblance of, maybe the ruling party will take a large chunk, but the opposition can also be seen to be taking also some minor points.
Mr. Akin, for the ones that they've done already,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in Akwa Ibom, we just heard the story of how you need to take one to give to APC as compensation to avoid embarrassment,
Yes.
where we have PDP clearing 30. In Anambra State, they have 21 local governments.
Yes.
APGA had 21 seats,
Yes.
local government council. They won
Yes.
everything. In Enugu State, it was PDP.
Yes.
Imo State, the same thing happened.
Yes.
And then, we can keep on counting.
Benue State, the same thing happened.
In Benue State,
We are going
APC
to
took
have,
over.
and I can tell you, we are going to have
the same
Ondo-
thing. You know what I'm saying?
Ondo State is going to be the same thing. So your question now is,
Are you not saying that we have local government autonomy now to be what Nigerians are, talking about? With this whole happening.
I do not see the nexus of what you are asking. Even if you didn't have local government autonomy, it will still be that same trend. So why I do not want to, call a dog a bad name just because I want to hang it. As far as I'm concerned, I believe in local government autonomy. I believe it can be properly structured and streamlined such that the governors will not always continue to be the fear kingdom. Look at what happened in Akwa Ibom State. Akwa Ibom State is a PTB state. Unfortunately, the wife of the governor died, and the governor decided that it's going to be his daughter that should be the acting governor. That is democracy. And to that, and of course, PDP will be very, very happy that that is kind of thing is happening. I charge you, go to Abia State today. Let's hold an election in Abia State today. The Labour Party is going to clear the majority of the
Now, do you think the
election will
president
come up on November 2?
Do you think now the
Exactly.
president will release the funds, allocations meant for local government, given the fact that Serap have said, without credible election, funds should be withheld?
Now, again, I come back to, what do you term as credible? You don't think it's credible. If I think it's credible, and the people there think it's credible, so which one? It's all the jambalaya of confusion that we call democracy. Them all crazy in this country, unfortunately. Elsewhere, it's not as bad. But when it comes to Nigeria, the issue of election, man, I think the earlier we begin to take issue of money and all that kind of thing, you are nobody, and then you get into politics, and you can cross carpet and cross carpet. Cross carpeting has been happening since the wet tear days.
So, Barrister Darlington,
Yes.
Let me ask you, has Wike been demystified? I mean, APP beat him in his unit, his polling unit, in his ward and in his local government area. Has it been demystified?
When you scotch a snake, a rattlesnake, and the thing now recline and fold up, don't go and jubilate that the snake is dead, though. The snake is trying to get power. And if you now stretch out, and then bite you, all the venom in him, you pour it inside you out of anger.
Please, let's understand.
What I'm saying is that Wike will not give up easily. You heard that they are going to court. Are you not aware? Maybe he is not going to...
As a barrister, this going to court, help us understand what they can present and how they can go about it in court, seeing what has happened.
They are going to use what the Federal High Court said in Abuja. That's what they are going to present.
Doesn't that go against what the Supreme Court said? That
That's where the argument will now come.
And remember, Barrister, that another court again...
Because their own lawyer will equally bring up an argument that the Supreme Court, they base their election on the order of the Supreme Court.
See.
But Barrister Darlington, we have a Federal High Court...
You want to say something?
It's most unfortunate, and I must say it's most unfortunate, that at the end of the day, we are going to be throwing stones at the courts, at the judges, for all the shenanigans of politicians not being disciplined, not being democratic. We heap it at the courts, and the courts are human beings. So they will now come one way or the other, and then we begin to drag the courts. I tell you, in my opinion, the brand of democracy that we are operating, democracy is good. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But the brand of democracy we are operating in this country leaves a lot to be desired. It is nothing but people's will. And before Darlington came on, I made a point. I didn't make it tongue in cheek. That we have to, all of us, we have to be very careful in this country. For me, whether it's Wike, whether it's Bola Tinubu as an example, whether it's Atiku, whether it's Peter Obi as somebody who rallies people around, if you begin to do things that the people don't like, and it's not the voice of the people, they will swallow you. And that is a recipe for some form of revolution. And the earlier we understand this, the better. Look at River State. I go back to River State. Despite all the shenanigans that you can talk, go to court if you want to go to court and stuff like that. The people are happy with the outcome, at least the generality of the people, not all. Okay? The generality of the people are happy with what has come. As far as they are concerned, what was on the ballot was to get Wike out at all costs. Even if you bring a rattlesnake, like my dear brother is saying. If, as far as they are concerned, get Wike out, we don't want to hear anything about APC, we don't want to hear anything about the federal government, the people are going to be happy. But for how long? Now, I expect, and if you listen to what Siminalayi Fubara said some of the right vibes. Yes, he made some insinuation. That I want to beg you, don't see yourself as a feudal lord. Don't say because you now have power, move near the people. Do what the people have to do. Get to the grassroots. And that is how it should be. But once power gets into your hands, it corrupts absolutely, unfortunately.
Okay.
Mr. Aki, we all understand what has been going on in River State. You know, the role Wike has played in River State politics.
Versus
Fubara. You know,
yes.
It's been cat and dog between both of them.
Yes.
Now, Wike is an appointee of the president
yes.
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Yes.
Fubara is an elected governor.
Yes.
Considering what has happened,
yes.
wouldn't it have been proper for the president to call Wike to order?
Well, again, I am not in the shoes of the president, but I want to tell you something. If he has not done that, I'll personally be surprised. I will personally, despite that he has his own dog in the fight, I'll personally be surprised. I'll be surprised because something similar was going to happen in Lagos State between him.
I was hoping you'd go there.
Between him and
somebody.
No. Fashola.
Okay.
Let me tell you, this same scenario might have played out at that time. But Fashola did something. He says, I will run away this time, and I can always fight. I will look at governance. I will govern well. Very few, does not matter even if you are not a member of APC or the party that Fashola belongs to, in relative terms, you cannot, in my own opinion, you cannot compare Fashola in terms of service delivery and capacity with many of other state governors. So he stood by that, and then the voters in Lagos now then said, look, go ahead, just like we have in Fubara and whatever, go ahead and go attack him. What did Fashola do? He held on because there is something that Darlington, you know, we always disagree, but we agree on this one. It's just spoken like an elder. Now be very, very careful. If you think you have scourged a snake, that snake might be the snake that is going to help you ward off some other enemies. And I know something like that happened in Lagos during Fashola's time. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as former governor, now stood politically like a rock of Gibraltar to what, amongst others, happened at Oshodi. So, Wike might still have his point. I believe strongly from political calculations, even as robbed as we have it in Nigeria, that Mr. President, I believe Mr. President would have called Wiki.
To order. But he
We'll have
probably-
called Wiki and say, look, high time, don't do this, don't do that. But
All right.
when Wiki listen, it's another thing
He
entirely.
did not call him.
It is,
Okay.
it is,
Now, let me-
it is-
let me-
it
He
is
did
a
not call
preposition.
him.
question.
He did not
But
call
now
him.
to you, Barrister Darlington
Yes.
Agumo, you know, we're talking about the courts and the role they play in this River State, you know, political or local government election saga. We learned, or we know that according to the River State Electoral Commission, once a date is fixed for a local government election,
Yes, no, but no court can.
court
No,
can
yes.
take it out.
Yes.
And is it that the Abuja High Court isn't aware of this before coming up to say we need to go back? Remember that Peter Lufu gave the first judgment before coming back again to talk about another one he mentioned,
No.
even when P. Igwe also have his own.
No, the Abuja Federal High Court did not say that elections should not hold. They didn't say to it. They only said that you should meet certain conditions before you can hold the election. And in the eye of River State government, they have met all those conditions. That was why they were talking about voters register. That nobody should release it. Meanwhile, they said they already have it. You can see. That was the two leading orders that the Federal High Court gave. Meet the 90 days stipulation and then use the voters register.
Okay.
So
Why are we even having this issue of voter register in River State? Whereas other states in Nigeria use the one that they have. Why are we having-
Exactly. That was the mistake the court made. They were just fishing for evidence to make sure that the election. In fact, they didn't know how to say that the election should not hold. They know they cannot say that. That was why the court did not give that order. The election should not hold. They can't say it. It's not possible. That was why they were dancing around all other issues. Voter register, 90 days, this and that. Those things they cannot hold water. Even if Wike wants to go to court, he cannot hold water because the court did not say that the election should not hold. And since the election had been held and the winners are announced and then given an oath of office,
Sworn in.
Yes, it's all over. When they go to court now, what are they
Now,
going to court?
talking about the swearing in and the hastiness in which it was done, and also the way we've seen things pan out here. Let's also look at INEC's culpability in past elections. Now, would you say the push? What would you say to the push for the push at the National Assembly that local government elections be conducted by INEC as against the State Electoral Commission going forward?
It wouldn't have been better.
It wouldn't have been better.
Yes. Going by the antecedent of INEC, it wouldn't have been better. That's
So
the
you
fact.
think this one conducted by
By
SIEC,
states, yes.
by SIEC is better than what INEC would have done?
That's what I'm telling you. I said, going by the antecedent of INEC, they wouldn't have done a better job. In fact, it could have been worse in River because by now, the problem would have escalated more than this. I know that if INEC were allowed to conduct that election in Rivers, they would have made sure that we can have the day. And that would have been a problem, a very big problem. Look, what I'm saying here is that, look, very, 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 very sincerely, when you have a leader who wants things to move forward, you will see it by his action, the body language and everything.
It's a major concern to me that you have these thoughts. And sincerely speaking, a lot of Nigerians think the same way, that a body burdened with the responsibility of conducting free and fair elections has been, is a lot more partisan now than political parties themselves.
Exactly.
What does this portend for us going forward?
Look, it is about the leadership, the leader. That's what I'm telling you here. After all, PDP.
By the leader, do you mean Mahmoud Yakubu?
No. By the president, the leadership of the country.
Okay.
We had a leader in a PDP when the election was held in 2015. Is that not true? It was PDP that appointed the Jega. But he worked against them. The man who quietly left, Jonathan, he didn't come and start bickering or shouting and making noise. He left. In 2007, I think, when Yaradua came in, he discovered that there was a problem in the electoral process. And he instituted reforms. He even condemned his own election. Can you imagine? Yaradua condemned the election that
Well,
brought
you
him to
think
power.
things have worsened after that?
Sorry?
Are you saying that?
And what I'm saying is that subsequent leadership would have been working on it. So that by now, in fact, you won't even know that you are holding an election, just like in other crime. You can vote in your house. They would have perfected the technology that you can vote from your bedroom.
Okay. Now let me ask Mr.
So it has
Aki,
gotten. We are going back. We are going back. That's my worry. We are going back.
Well, Mr. Aki,
Even with the
before we
electoral
run out
reform.
of time, because we are pressed for time, we have to go into the second topic. Is this a leadership problem?
A country has leaders
I would like your response in less than a minute, if you can.
arising from the holoi polloi. The Jaga thing that he said, he made a statement that he worked against them. No, I don't think Jaga worked against the ruling party at that time.
He did. Evidence are there. He did.
There was an election. A winner was declared. The loser accepted the fate of that election. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you can sit down here and continue to talk from here to Golgotha. The truth of the matter is, as long as we always continue to look for excuses and be pointing fingers at others, when internally, there is no internal democracy, even amongst us as people, we don't have a consensus. And then we now get on to INEC.
The people cannot conduct elections by themselves. There's a body that will conduct the elections.
Okay, now, a body has conducted elections in Rivers State.
Yes.
You heard me clearly.
We're not talking about Rivers State now. I'm talking about
I'm
giving you at the National Assembly.
I'm giving you the point that there was a very good question that you asked about INEC or SEC.
Yes,
he said that he thinks it will have been worse. Okay, right? And I'm telling you, whether it's INEC, whether it's SEC, go and look for PINA and Co. and whatever it is, go and conduct elections there. It will still be the same. Because we as a people have not been disciplined enough to make sure that internally we organize ourselves other than agonizing so that the better person will win. It does not matter.
So it's the people now. It's not the body.
I don't think so.
Okay.
We are not the same.
Okay.
Moses,
Well,
I have just given you good examples.
Leadership
here. Yes, I've given you good examples here. Yaradua condemned his own election.
Yeah, we can.
And the man started reforms.
Disagree to
Subsequent leaders should have continued from there. But under APC, it has gotten worse. That's my point here.
That's your
Why
point.
didn't they follow that trajectory from PDP? That showed the example.
Thinks otherwise. He thinks it's the people. So the people will have to decide.
No, the people will not conduct
and the
election.
PDP have a chance to come back in 2027.
As a matter of fact, listen, though.
So why don't you go and face that?
God did not want us to even agree. That was why he disbanded them at the Tower of Babel. He never wanted us to be one.
Exactly.
God did
anyway,
it.
let's get into
So we can never go on. The only thing is the process. The process.
All right, Barrister. Thank you very much.
So go to court.
Go to court.
Yes.
Oh well. Let's get into another conversation now. Abuja Kaduna Zaria Kano dual carriageway. Federal government has approved 840 billion naira for the rehabilitation of that stretch. Let's talk about this one in a few minutes. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back and thanks for staying with us as we delve into the second topic of discussion. The federal government has approved over 840 billion naira for the rehabilitation of Section 2 of the 82-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria Kano dual carriageway. This sum also covers the construction of the Bodo-Bonny Road, including bridges across the Bodo Channel in Rivers State, as confirmed in a statement by Minister of Works, David Umahi. The approval follows a downward contract review by the Federal Executive Council on September 23, 2024. During a meeting with Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, the major contractor, I'll check that again. During a meeting with Julius Berger of Nigeria PLC, who is the major contractor, Umahi urged swift completion of the project. He enjoined the contractor to mobilize in 4 sections of the Abuja, Zaria, Kaduna, Kano project to finish the job within 14 months, stressing that the inflation rate and the current economic situation was taken into consideration before arriving at the decision. We still have in the studio with us Mr. Akin Fatuke, a communications consultant, and Barrister Darlington Agomo, a political analyst. Gentlemen, thanks for staying with us.
Thank you, Mr. Okoro.
Mr. Aki, here we go again, 840 billion naira for the rehabilitation of Section 2 of the 82-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna Zaria Way, dual carriageway. This is not the first time. Between 2016 and 2027.
Around, and there was a lot of kidnapping in there. Are we taking care of that aspect? Are we capable of taking care of that aspect? In fact, the real question...
I don't get that. Did bandits stop the road construction or what? What happened?
Exactly.
What's the connection with the bandits here?
Okay, as a journalist, I believe you have reported over time all those routes between Abuja and Kaduna and Zaria. At all that time, we have to get back to making sure that those who are culprits there should be brought to book. But while we are pursuing that, should not stop us from then saying that the people should not benefit. Should just be much more integrated in the way and manner we should look at it.
Mr. Akin Fatuke, you said something about the fact that some people, whack the money. Your own language shouldn't make us to stop awarding contract or stop doing what's supposed to be done. Isn't that going to be more like progressing in error, whereby a lump sum, a huge amount of money was being set out for a particular project, and people are not being called to book? No one is being penalized. No one is in court. No one is in jail for misappropriation or for not using those funds properly. Rather, we keep on chunking out a larger sum again.
Yeah. They are not being prosecuted. They are not being this. They are not being that. I know, I don't have it for sure, that investigations have been going on in various areas, maybe slow, maybe unsteady. I want to believe you have a tertiary education. And will you say because monies that have been voted for education all this while have been wiped, and then when you got into university, that won't be processed for you?
Isn't that part of what Asu is talking about now, what Nigerians are suffering
my
over
point to you is, I would not say because somebody has worked yesterday, you coming today, you will not have a process to go forward. I won't stunt that. And that is the reason why I said it has to be integrated. And that is what governance is all about. Not a Bilokon, or it's my own turn, or, it's the north turn, it's the southwest turn, it's the southeast turn, kind of situation.
Okay. So, sorry, let me come to Barrister now. Barrister,
yes, please.
With this revelation that some monies have been assigned for the construction of that road before now, and now not many Nigerians are asking questions.
Has it been released?
Yes.
It's been released.
Not many Nigerians are asking
questions.
That's
why they are holding a meeting. Yeah, go ahead.
About what was done with the monies that were allocated for the construction of that road before now. Where do you think this leaves us? Now that 840 billion has also been earmarked to go into the same road. And this is not just the first. We've had other roads.
Do you know when this type of thing happened? I think Tinubu is not doing, in fact, he's not doing well enough, seriously. Because a lot went down under Buhari. I'm telling you. I remember that this particular road, we are told that these are part of the infrastructure that Buhari was building. That is very, very top-notch on the infrastructure. He has built all the... Now that we are hearing all these things, are you not supposed to probe? Find out what happened. This was how he told us that he had paid the 30 trillion naira ways and means from CBN. Without asking questions, who took it? What did the person do with it and all that?
Really?
Is it not important you find out? How can somebody remove that kind of money from CBN? Really? And you are telling me that you have paid it. I mean, how come? Are you supposed to withdraw that kind of money there?
Well, what do you
expect? Is that not an infraction?
What do you expect to be done?
Sorry?
What do you expect to be done?
Prosecute people now. You mean that we should continue to be afraid of people who have caused us so much pain financially?
But in the history of Nigeria,
The former president have not been prosecuted.
never been prosecuted.
Are you serious? Are you serious? Can you imagine? So this type of narrative, if we continue, that means my great-grandchildren are going to inherit this problem. Because when it comes, no president has been prosecuted. That's what Tinubu told us, that no presidential election has been annulled in Nigeria. And so, whether it is bad or even worse than bad, it should go on. It should go on.
So
look at where it landed us.
If I may ask, is
No,
this,
you can't ask him a question, please.
No, what I'm saying is,
Okay, you're throwing a rhetorical one. Go
if
ahead.
I may ask Nigerians, is this about Bola Tinubu?
who else is in power? Please, let us not go there. He's in power. He's in power. If that were, no. Please, we are not going to spare anybody here. Because when APC was in opposition, there is nothing they did not tell us about PDP. That their own corruption is stinking to high heaven. Now they have come under their watch.
Why have you assumed? I have not finished my statement. Why have you assumed that I want to?
You said it now that it's not about Tinubu. Who else?
I said,
if things are going smoothly, won't he collect the credit?
I said, is this about Tinubu?
It is about him. It's under his word. These things are going on.
Well, the topic that was given here is not about Tinubu.
You are the one that mentioned his name. You are the one who. You are the one that mentioned. I said under his watch. These things are going on.
Okay, go ahead.
Under his watch, we're supposed to see some semblance of corruption.
If you give me the go ahead, I will talk. Please let him finish.
On a more serious note, Moses, are we not supposed to see so that we will say that this man is trying, to fight corruption?
Okay.
How can we just everything that has to do with APC and their infractions? We say, let us move on. Nobody will probe. Nobody will talk.
All right. Barrister, thanks for your.
Look at the amount of money that got missing under Buhari.
Let's move the microphone now.
Because you asked, and that's why I asked, is this about Bola Tinubu?
It is about him.
And somebody was asking the fact that past leaders, and then no.
Barrister, please.
It still came back to Bola Tinubu. Nobody is saying Bola Tinubu. I would not sit there and say Bola Tinubu was a saint. Jonathan, during his time, we saw so much money of security monies that went down the drain. During Obasanjo's time, the power sector, we knew what happened. That is not what we are saying. But I also, as an economist and as a finance person, want to be very, very careful because this is a public discourse. Money was voted. And I asked, was it appropriated? Was it released? Because I know over time, that's part of the thing. If money has been released and contractors have taken this money and they have worked this money, then you can begin to probe. Now, Barrister also made the point that we should, we should have done something. I also know that when Bola Tinubu came in, I know a lot of probes. He talked about ways and means. Has been instituted with CBN, we all know. But again, I come back to where I start from. Nothing should take away the fact that the Commonwealth of Nigeria should be adequately protected. And if all the checks and balances that we have, that we are supposed to have been found wanting, then what? Without democracy. That is the point I'm making.
All right.
So,
Mr. Ake,
pure and simple.
I understand that the only probe the president has instituted since he came in is that of Jim Obaze.
Prosecution
of
CBN.
Now, that said, on top of my head, I think I can recall that for the past 20 years, Lagos-Ibadan Expressway has been under constant rehabilitation.
You're right.
The Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano Road has been under maintenance.
Yes.
The Enugu-Port Harcourt Road has been under maintenance.
Yes.
The Auchi Abuja Road, the Benin Auchi Road has been under.
Yes.
Now, monies have been given.
Yes.
And these roads fall apart even when the contractor is still on another section of the road. Should we continue in that direction?
No, we should not continue.
So what is the appropriate thing to do?
Like we should also not continue. If you look at the Niger Bridge that was constructed by the PDP government, only for us to realize that we have been looking at a sepulchre. If you know what a sepulture is.
Let me interject here. Let me interject here.
No,
Barrister, get your turn.
excuse me, you can interject. You may have your... All I'm saying that it is not acceptable. It cannot be acceptable. We don't have governance in all aspects, not just federal, even state. So we cannot be building,
substandard.
Are we not supposed to be having checks? Don't we have the committees that are supposed to be looking at roads? Are we looking at them and saying that you have done right or you've not done right? Yes, I know the buck stops on the president's table. No doubt about that. It has to be a thing whereby I still come back, whether you're looking at your politics, whether you're looking at education, whether you're looking at health, whether you're looking at... Nigeria is being structured in a pattern of malfeasance. Nigeria has been structured in a pattern whereby you go ahead and do whatever it is that you want to do, you pocket it, you are not brought to book, and you contest elections, and you come back for election. And that is the truth. That generally is the way we have structured. And unless we come to terms to the fact that this cannot continue, like you said, we are going.
Barrister, you want to say something?
Yes, go ahead. What I'm saying in essence is that, look, Moses, you see, the problem we have is this type of discussion. It's not helping us to make our leaders accountable. APC told us that they are coming for change. They saw all these things before they came into office. They campaigned with it. Why should we not be cutting flags for them all over the time? Why? This is one thing they promised that they are coming to do. If they are not doing it, we should hold them accountable. It's as simple as that. Not telling me that because this other person...
Or some will say change is a matter of perspective.
Sorry?
Some will say change is a matter of perspective.
Yeah, but they even use that as a mantra. Change. That was what APC was
about. You didn't hear what you said. It's a matter of perspective.
No, but in this particular instance, hold on. In this particular instance, APC told us that we are coming for change.
Okay, and
they said it.
And that when they come in, it will be El Dorado.
For 9 years. And 9 years, not single change. We have not seen any change.
Nobody is saying that.
And you are saying we should not hold them accountable.
I have not said that.
That's what you are saying now.
I didn't say that.
That Nigeria is structured for malfeasance.
Of course.
We should continue.
No, I didn't say that.
Continue. And that's what you mean now.
No.
I was thinking you tell us that all the things that APC promised, you have not done any of them.
If your agenda...
All the things that APC promised us, Moses, please, for Christ's sake, are we not supposed to ask a come? All the things you promise, do one, just one. Let us hold you for that. Nothing has been done. No, but I can see that you are telling what PDP did in office.
Sorry, Mr. Fatuke. We have the Federal Road Emergency, FEMA. We have FEMA, whatever it is. But we know that they are involved in road maintenance, federal road maintenance.
Yes.
And every year, good sums of money is allocated to FEMA. And they turn around to re-award contracts to construction companies spanning billions of naira. Isn't that a duplication? Should we not just do away with FEMA? What do you think?
Okay, what I think is, first of all, be very careful in some of the statements we make. Umahi has come out, ministers before him has come out and say that if you look at the budget of what they need to do rehabilitation and maintenance, it's that huge. But we don't have the money to be able to go in there and do. And so we have to wait on appropriation of what they are given. Likewise in education, likewise in health. Nigeria is, our revenue base is low and in fact is shrinking. You cannot therefore be expecting that you are going to get, a skyscraper when all what you can do is mud hot. But you see, my friend is saying we should not look back. There is a saying where I go that when you are running and you fall down, an elder looks back and says, what is it that has made the storm? But the child will just say, I want to continue to go forward. My point.
But our leaders are living large.
Not only that, please, hold on. Moses, how much are we owing now as debt?
I have not said
how much are we owing now? Can you look around and tell me where that money entered?
I am not here.
At least if you borrow money, we should see where you put that money.
I am not a spokesperson of APC. So
look at how much you are owing.
I cannot therefore be saying that I'm defending APC. I don't know what your agenda Because each time we talk, it has to be Bola Tinubu. You are free to be able to say that.
Can you imagine?
But for you, excuse me.
Barrister, please.
Look, go ahead. You have your way. Go. All I'm doing is to sit here and do a balanced analysis.
You are not balancing anything. You are not.
That is a matter of perspective.
You are not.
So, who was it that said that it's not what you look that matters, it's what you see. That's what you see. And what I am telling you is the fact that I look at things from a half-filled bottle. Nigeria is not well structured. Go and bring whoever you are speaking for to come on top of the game. It will still be the same thing.
Right, Mr.
That is what.
I disagree. APC promised us restructuring. Why have they not done it?
Barrister Darlington, please hold on.
We cannot continue to be running around now. I am asking you here. How much are we owing? How much are we owing in debt? Especially to Chinese government. How much are we owing?
Mr. Akin, you said you want to look at the whole thing as a half-filled glass. We have the Calabar Coastal Highway, which was awarded to a particular company in Nigeria. And now, that particular contract have actually got 1-point-something trillion naira, which was not budgeted for. That is on one part. Then we have the National Assembly suddenly calling for a halt, for them to look into it, because Nigerians are talking about how that contract was awarded. A huge amount of money.
They are still constructing.
And we already pushed into that particular construction.
What's your
now,
question?
bringing it back again to what we have again, over 840 billion naira being allocated for Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano, dual carriageway. And you're saying that we shouldn't hold people who are misplacing or who are not, using our money judiciously. This is taxpayers' money. You say we shouldn't hold them accountable, we shouldn't bring them to table, we shouldn't call them to come and tell us what is happening.
Finian, I have a problem. If Darlington is saying I said so, and you that is supposed to be the host is also saying I said so, excuse me, please. Okay. At what point did you hear me say so?
Mr. Akin,
wait.
Who is the president of Nigeria?
You are free.
Mr. Akin, the president of Nigeria is...
You are free to hold your opinion. I did not say so. So please, be very civil. Not to put things I did not say here.
Mr. Akin, first, can we have the president of Nigeria?
You talked about... Wait.
He appointed all the ministers.
You can talk about Bola Tinubu.
Number of ministers in this present administration.
Can we be straight so that I can answer you? This is not a Tower of Babel.
You're talking about...
So if you want me to answer your question, you talked about the Calabar. You said it was not budgeted for. You must, first of all, understand the financing for that. Okay. If you have not understood the finance for that, I'm not going to go further than that. Excuse me. Please, ask me a question and let me answer. Go and do your homework. And go, as you said, it was not budgeted for. Yes, normally it should go through the budgetary process. But there are quite a number of financing options that came in there.
Talking about the PPP financial option? Because that is what the federal government said we're going to
then go and do your homework. Can I finish?
Why did the National Assembly ask them to stop work?
Okay, very good. So the National Assembly, just like you are asking questions, because we don't understand. So come and explain. Look, I always say things should be through a normal process.
Yes, go ahead.
So now you've now lumped it with this other one that we'll be talking about, the Bauchi thing, and I have just told you, and I asked you a question. You can come back. I can come back here and face it.
All right.
If the property was done,
has money been released?
Right. As it stands now, we are absolutely out of time.
If money has not been released,
we have not done anything on this matter.
You cannot.
Barrister, you hold on. Barrister, you hold on.
You cannot. Because we are looking at the public. It doesn't matter how you look at it. But
can you give us? We'll give you a minute for your parting shots, please.
My parting shot is that we should not come on table, whether as hosts or as guests, and just make assumptions.
All right.
Those assumptions does not help. Does that now say that we have governance? We don't have governance in Nigeria, not just at the state level, at the federal level, all over. We all know that.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
Pure and simple. But is there a hope for Nigeria? Yes, there's a hope for Nigeria if we all change our attitude.
All right, then. Thank you very much.
And go for
Barrister, let's
what is noble.
With the way we are talking here, that hope may not come. If we don't start now, in fact, tomorrow, should be today. The way Nigeria is now, we are not supposed to wait. We are not supposed to even give one single gap because we are behind time. We are behind the human race in every aspect of life. So we should start now to hold people accountable.
All right,
because that was what they promised us.
All right.
We cannot continue to shift the goalposts every time. Moses, how much are we owing now in debt? How much did the APC meet when they came into office? Where is that money? At least when you borrow money to put someone, we should see the reflection now. All these roads, is that not what Buhari was going to China to borrow money for? Why are we still paying on it again?
So we should hold our leaders
accountable. We should.
But it's true. How much money do we have in the kitty? When it came in, how much money do we have in the
money? Who swallowed all the money?
Barrister Darlington Agumo.
What did they do with the money?
Analyst and VOP in-house analyst. And we must say a very big thank you to you too, Mr. Akin.
Thank you very much.
A communications consultant. We'll take a break now. And, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
Well, that's it on the show today. We must say a very big thank you to you for being part of the conversation. Do well to follow us on YouTube. It's Voice of the People TV. And on all the social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Now, on behalf of my colleagues, Chukwuma Okoro, Fina Okechukwu, and the backroom staff as well, I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day. Stick around. 9 o'clock to 10 will be a newspaper review with Chukwuma and I. We'll be looking at stories from the dailies. Join us again. Bye for now.